Hi everyone, I hope you had fun with yesterday's English task. We are going to do a very similar thing today. If you haven't sent over your English example from yesterday's lesson yet, then there's still time to do so, don't worry. It's just really nice to see some of the work that you're producing. Right, today's English lesson. I can infer feelings about a character. So we're continuing with Odd and the Frost Giants and obviously the same theme running throughout the week. Right, your first task is to read the poem. So if you're watching this on the video, you're lucky enough that I'm going to read it for you. You can pause it afterwards and you can go back and read it for yourselves. So here we go, The Frost Giant. Like a titan, the beast rose from the depths, a translucent crystal behemoth crammed with icy rage. The elements cowered in his presence, and the land shriveled as the footsteps of doom stomped onward. Crackling, splintering knuckles big enough to flatten mountains clenched, oily eyes fixed, a face without feeling, bitter, biting breath, a blizzard of fury roaring at the monster's sole focus. Tonight, Asgard will fall. Now, if you remember yesterday, we asked you to use a rich vocabulary. So if you can see here, what I've done with today's example is added exactly that. So added examples of a rich vocabulary. And I'll just give you a few of those examples here. Like a giant, the beast rose from the depths. So that was my example to you yesterday. Well, today that has changed to like a titan, the beast rose from the depths. He was a glowing cold statue crammed with icy rage. That has been improved to a translucent crystal behemoth crammed with icy rage. So you can pause the video if you would like to here and have a look at the two examples and see exactly where I have improved it. Right, your second task to do today is to summarise the poem line by line so that you get a really, really good understanding of it. Now, there are some definitions of some of the vocabulary on the next slide to help you. I'll just go through those with you now. Right, now what I've done just to make it nice and easy is I've highlighted them in bold here so that you know that there's a little bit of support here to understand the vocabulary. So you've got Titan. In Greek mythology, Titans were pre-Olympian gods, massive, strong, impressive. Hopefully once you understand that, you'll see how it's relevant to update and edit and improve my poem to say here, like a Titan. Translucent means semi-transparent, colourless, glassy. A crystal behemoth, a mystical beast, huge, monstrous creature, enormous, thought to trap light in their bodies. Crammed means completely full, stuffed, full up. Elements, now I'm sure some of you will remember this from your science lesson a couple of weeks ago. So elements are components, parts. So they're substances which can't be broken down into any other substance, and they make matter. Now, if you remember, we were talking about matter in week 3 science, and we were talking about solids, liquids, and gases. Right, to cower means to crouch down. Shrivels, to wrinkle, contract. Splintering means to break into sharp fragments. Clenched, closed into a tight ball. Bitter, feeling or showing anger, hurt, resentment. A blizzard is a severe snowstorm with high winds. Fury means wild or violent anger. Soul, the one and only. And Asgard, location associated with gods. So hopefully now you've got a definition of the vocabulary which is down the side here that I've updated and put into my poem. Hopefully that will make much more sense for you. So if I just go back to the previous slide where it says to summarise the poem line by line, hopefully now you understand all of the vocabulary, you will be able to do that. So pause the video here and press play again when you've done that activity. Right, now you should be really secure with the meaning of the poem. Let's just move that out of the way. What we would like you to do now is to identify the examples of figurative language in my examples. So remember alliteration, similes, metaphors, personification, onomatopoeia. Now, if you remember yesterday, your task was to use one of each of those examples to produce your poem. And I showed you an example. I go back here. This was my example from yesterday. And like I said to you, this version here is the edit and improved version. So what we would like you to do is to have a look at my poem, my example, which would be a shared write if we were in school together, and to identify the figurative language in this poem, because obviously, like I asked you to do yesterday, you put your poem in an order so it would flow in a much better way, and equally I've done the same here. So again, I've put a little note on here. You can highlight or underline the examples, maybe choosing a different colour for each one, or just using the initial of whichever example you find. You can write it on the sheet so you don't actually have to write the whole poem out yourself. I have put at the bottom here, have I included all of the required techniques? I don't know, you go through and you can see if you can find examples of them for me. Right, so pause the video and then you can start again once you've done that exercise. And then finally, one more thing for you to do today. We want you to think about your voice and how you use your voice when you are reading a poem. So I've got a snippet of the poem here, and it says, how would you read this out loud? At the bottom, which words and phrases need the most attention to paint the picture for your reader? How could you use your voice? How could you, oh, I need to edit that at the bottom there. How could you use your voice to achieve it? So I'm just going to show you 2 examples of doing that. I'm going to read the first version for you without any emphasis on any of the words at all, without any emotion. Like a titan, the beast rose from the depths, a translucent crystal behemoth crammed with icy rage. The elements cowered in his presence, and the land shriveled as the footsteps of doom stomped onward. Okay, and then I'm going to read it again for you with, my daughter's laughing at me. I'm going to read it again for you with some expression with my voice. Like a titan, the beast rose from the depths, a translucent crystal behemoth crammed with icy rage. The elements cowered in his presence, and the land shriveled as the footsteps of doom stomped onward. So hopefully you can see the difference there in the 2 examples that I've just read. So think about how you would read this poem out loud and which words you would give more emphasis to. That's it for today's activities. Obviously, there are 4 tasks, so I understand if it's taking you a little bit longer today to complete them all. Tomorrow, you will be shown some examples of some monsters, some Norse monsters, and you will be writing your own poem about your chosen monster. So you've got that to look forward to tomorrow. Right, that's all for today. So I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.